Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today here on the Axolitos Weekly Update. We have some great guests today. As always, we have MoneyPlaneIdol from the Gutter Cat Gang community, who's going to be talking a bit just about the space as a whole, how our communities can work together, and just his insights into where we are right now. We also have Minnie, who's going to be giving a quick art update around the Aquarium and turning all of your Axolotls characters into 3D that you'll be able to view in your aquarium. And myself, I'll be going a little bit more into the Bubbles token, which we are happy to announce today, and some of the things around the upcoming staking launch. So thank you everyone for being here. Really happy to have you here today, and let's dive right in. We've really had an active and amazing couple of past 4 or 5 weeks. We've kicked off spaces and had some amazing guests from the Coinbase NFT dev to Twitter NFT dev to Chubby Corns and a bunch of other amazing guests. So we've been really happy how these spaces have been going, and how our community has really been stepping up and jumping in, and getting really excited about all our amazing partnership announcements that are coming out. So the format for today, we're gonna have a few updates. I'll quickly just introduce the guests, and then we'll do just chat about NFTs a bit more generally with our guests here. Of course, we'll go through the AMA questions as well. So if you have any questions, please add them into the Discord channel, and we'll be getting to all of those at the end. So today we've got myself, and we have Minnie, who's going to be giving an art update. And we have MoneyPlaneIdol, who is from the Gutter Cat Gang community, really active there, and also just active across the NFT space, and really is driving a lot of engagement and excitement around new projects. Really excited to have MoneyPlaneIdol here, and also as an Axo community member. It's going to be fun to chat together. So today I'll quickly go through some of the Bubbles article that we just shared. We'll have some art updates, and then we'll do a little bit of chatting with MoneyPlaneIdol. As always, you can still go to and add your questions into the Discord channel. We'll get to all those questions. I should just mention, add those in all week. So for the next week's AMA, you can jump in there and just start adding your questions, and we'll get to them all in the next week's AMA and weekly update. So before diving into a little bit of the art update, we just shared the Bubbles article, which we're really excited about to announce the Axolotls Bubbles token. We did a lot of research on what Axolotls love, and turns out it's bubbles, and that they love to play with them, and they get a lot of joy and strength out of all of the bubbles under the water. So we're really excited to bring you this token, and for you to be able to stake your Axos and to earn bubbles. So I'll briefly touch on a few things around what you'll be able to use them for, but we'll have lots more details in the coming days here. So the first thing I'll mention is that this token we're really viewing as the key to everything in the Axolotls universe. So we imagine this as the kind of utility key that's going to unlock a lot of different rewards and a lot of items and collaborations that we've been working to build for you. And so you can really think about this not just as a token or that you're accumulating, but as something that is going to really go across and outside of our project and be kind of the glue and the bubbles that bring everything together. So definitely you should get excited about that, and we'll be announcing a lot more utility for how to use these and what you'll be able to use these for in the future. For now, we've outlined in the article that there's a few different ways that you'll be able to use these. One is on Aquarium items. So these are going to be things that will appear and that you can decorate your Aquarium with. Another aspect of this is partner collaboration. So this is either getting airdrops just for holding tokens and having your axolotls staked, or being able to actually use these to mint different projects. We're still working out all those details, but this is really going to be a token that's critical to our whole partner network. And then, of course, we also outline the physical merch kind of aspect of this, where we're going to be rolling out Axolotls merch, and the token will be able to be used for purchasing merch in different ways around that. So again, a lot more. We'll have more details around this. We'll have our staking interface going live, so keep an eye out for that. It's going to make it really easy for you to stake your Axos, see which ones are staked, and then also to see how many bubbles you've earned. You'll be able to see that in real time accumulating, which is really great. And then you can also claim your bubbles directly through the interface. So I think that's pretty much covers the article here, but really you should look forward to staking. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to be rolling out a lot of utility around these too. So lots more coming up, but I think we'll dive into the art update now and have a little bit more general NFT discussion as well. Cool. With that being said, I think we'll dive into, before chatting with MoneyPlaneIdol, just into some of the art update. We'd love to hear from you, Minnie, on how things are going with the Axo Aquarium, and if you can share any sneak peeks for our community here around what we're building there.
Yeah. So for the aquarium, right now, I can say that it's going to be a little bit delayed. So we're building it right now, and the art, it takes a lot of time. So we have one 3D artist for the project, and to keep a consistent art style, he's working on all the outfits. Then we'll probably get someone else to do the build out the actual world. But so this artist right now is taking a little bit of a break. I think we've overworked him a little bit. He has been doing the 150 attributes, and so we're almost finished. We've done pretty much all the outfits, and so right now I'll send a tweet. You can check on Twitter. We have all the outfits, so I'll push it live, and yeah, I'll send it also on Discord so everyone can see. There we go. All right, so these are all the outfits in 3D, and I hope you like them. So we should have a working version of the Aquarium in the very beginning of December.
Wow, these are looking amazing.
So
this
yeah,
is
I hope you.
I just want to emphasize for everyone that I think I'm not sure any other project has even attempted this so far. I know there's some other major projects that are working, and they have it on their Q3, Q4 for next year to convert their profile pictures into 3D. And we're working really, really fast. I think we're one of the fastest in the space actually doing this. So this is a ton of work on the back end, and it's going to definitely pay off. As everyone here knows, Minnie is a perfectionist, and we want to get the art right.
Yeah, we've had to get other 3D models, so I didn't think about it. But as you can see, we have male Axos, but we also had female Axos with a chest. So we had to create another 3D model, and it also has to get rigged. So yeah, we always find out new things to do. So, but it's going to be perfect, and I hope you will enjoy seeing your 3D Axo.
Perfect. So we'll keep everyone updated on the exact timeline on that. As you know, things move really, really fast in the NFT space. So an extra week can seem like a long time, but it's for what is being built here. We're really excited to get this out and to get it out right. So we'll keep everyone updated on that. Cool. And then I think also would love to, let's bring MoneyPlane. Let's bring you into. Would love to kind of chat with you a little bit, and also then we can get into some AMA generally. So if you have any questions for Gutter Cat Gang or for Axolotls around staking, around the Axo Aquarium, around the art, around the article that just came out, drop them into the weekly AMA questions, and we'll get through all of those. But definitely the first thing, just in introducing MoneyPlaneIdol, I want to say is that we can't announce anything yet. We are definitely working on a lot of different partnerships, and we'll keep everyone updated. But we're really excited to bring someone in from Gutter Cat Gang as we kind of have those conversations, just to get our communities vibing together. So really glad to have you here, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And just on that note on partnerships too, I mean, I think it's worth exploring any partnerships with any community, and with what you guys are building with the token and with the Axe Aquarium. I mean, it's a metaverse play, right? And I think the ones that succeed are the ones that partner with a whole bunch of projects. So we'll keep that conversation.
Yeah. Just on that note, I know Gutter Cat Gang has been really focused on kind of those types of partnerships and expanding into these different worlds. Do you want to just talk about the approach to that as far as partnerships go?
Yeah. So as far as the metaverse investment from Gutter Cat Gang, they've invested a ton of money into doing a sandbox build out. I believe it's a 3x3 plot that's confirmed. I don't know if you've been in the sandbox or had the opportunity to play around in it, but I mean, even a 1x1 plot is pretty massive. We had a Halloween party in sandbox. I was just in awe of how big a 1x1 plot is. So that's Blaze Games they've partnered with out of Australia, to Voxel Blaze, who's a member of the gang, who's been building it out. And it looks awesome. I'm really excited for it. So, Sandbox is a play where obviously they've partnered with everybody from Kongs, apes, gutter cats, to Yetis, Adidas, Atari. I mean, it really looks like they're just trying to pull in anybody and everybody. And I think those are the metaverses that'll win long term, right? The ones that engage with all the different communities. So that's been a big push. The other big one has been House of Kiba. They've partnered up with them. You might have recognized them. They did the I'm going to butcher that, Ape Demption token. So the 3D apes that were walking around, I think Sotheby's had like a 3D ape for their teaser too. But I know Gutter Cats are doing a full build out. They've teased some of the models, like a 3D mansion you can walk around in. They had a trap house. They've been teasing the rats and the cats, dogs, and pigeons too. So that's been awesome to see.
Very cool. Yeah, it's definitely a really great approach. And I think, like, from our side too, obviously we're building out our entire own world as well. But we've also partnered with people like NFT Worlds to develop some custom skins, and also are exploring the other kind of universes that we can play around with. But definitely excited to see like all of these different spaces opening up where you can, it's I don't think it's going to be one world where everyone just joins. I think it's going to be all these different connected spaces, and it's really excited to see that.
Yeah, it won't just be one metaverse. It'll be a bunch of them, right? I'm just saying the ones that will survive are the ones that partner up with other entities, right? So what you guys have going on, I know you partnered with Chubbies and Twerky. Is that right?
Yep.
I'm trying to go off the top of my head, and I can't remember all of
them. Twerky,
you got a lot
Floaties. We've been a lot of announcements.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
How just on that note, maybe we can. I'd love to hear. Obviously, people here have heard just about the kind of future of our own kind of metaverse space as well. But Minnie, do you want to chime in a bit just about how kind of you envision the multiplayer and future of the Axe Aquarium as kind of where it kind of sits with like Decentraland or Sandbox or like these other spaces as well?
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be pretty different from Decentraland, but that's also nice because we have to get our own niche. So I envision it in a way, like I always say, like Animal Crossing. It's not like a public place where everyone goes to meet. It's more like you get your private little space, your island, and you can invite people I think we'll have something like that where you can make your island. I say island, but I mean your aquarium. You can make it private or public, and so you could decorate it however you want and stuff like that. And so it'd be more private than something like Decentraland, but it would still be a metaverse on its own, and you could invite people and everything like that.
Yep. Very cool.
So,
That sounds great. Cool. And then to jump back to you, MoneyPlane, do you want to go into would love to hear just a little bit more generally how you got into the space and what your thoughts are on where we're at right now at the moment.
Yeah, sure. So I probably don't have that unique of a story from a lot of other people who've gotten into apes and everything else, but I stumbled onto Top Shot back in September 2020. It's so funny. I remember I opened my first pack, and then I could tell you the players I got. It was an awful pull. And so I said, well, I don't know about this, and I just kind of ignored it. And then I remember the first week of January this year, I saw a Ja Morant sold for 15,000. I was like, oh, maybe my stuff's worth something. So I jumped back in. I threw in like grocery money to Top Shot, and it just exploded. It was crazy. Yep. So I was a really active member of Top Shot probably until about April. It was clearly on the downtrend. I had moved into Wax blockchain.
Yep.
I bought Street Fighter packs back in February, and I think Wax was like 6 cents or something. And so I got lucky on some of that. And then I jumped into Hicket Nuke, Hen. And, it's just funny because like each chain I sort of jumped, like Top Shot made sense to me because I was a card collector growing up. Wax sort of made sense to me because there was some play to earn stuff. I heard about Axie. I didn't pursue it. That was probably a mistake. And then Hicket Nuke on Tezos, that was a cool one for me. It clicked for me. Artists got a percentage of secondary sales back, and it was so cheap to list things. And so I met just a ton of amazing artists from all over the world who, it was life-changing for them because they could make money selling art in a pandemic where they couldn't work. So like a lot of them were tattoo artists previously, they just couldn't work during the pandemic. Each chain I sort of was on, it clicked for me in a different way. So, over time, it really helped me buy into, what NFTs are and what they can do. And it's been fun to just continuously explore that and see what's on the horizon. Eventually, I made my way to ETH. I think Gutter Cats were my second mint ever. I got pretty lucky on the mint, and it's been not a downward spiral, but ever deeper right into NFTs since. So
yeah, once you've minted something, it can become you can dive pretty deep into it.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you had so can you also tell us the story behind your current profile picture?
Oh, I don't know if there's a huge story. So when I minted, so mint day was crazy for Gutter Cats because I think everybody was primed and ready. Apes had started to kind of move, and this looked like it was sort of the next one up. If I remember right, somebody figured out how to mint off contract, which at the time, it was early June. So at the time, I don't think a lot of people knew how to mint off contract. So I think the devs bumped up the mint by 40 minutes. They just said, go now. Yeah. So a lot of people who are, probably doing other stuff and they figured they'd come back and mint totally missed out. I happened to be at my computer, so I got lucky on the mint. This was one of the ones that I minted. It's the only, so the horny hat's one of the rarest traits. I think there's 11, and it's the only naked one. So I've been, I leaned into that a little bit. I don't know how much success I've had, but, and then that's awesome. That's my own edit, sipping the dumb fuck juice. Sorry for the language. But just trying to stay humble. Like, I don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room, right? I'm going to admit, like, any success that I've had, luck's played a huge part in it. So I don't know if that's really the interpretation or if I was just, goofing around, but
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
say that's the deeper meaning. How about that?
That's great. Yeah, I think there's always a lot of luck involved too, or at least in that kind of phase of like what was happening. I think more and more now we're seeing, teams doubling down on, actually building things and like the roadmap and shipping and delivering, and that's kind of opening up, also kind of like just new opportunities for researching which teams are great and getting behind those projects.
Yeah, absolutely. Bet on the jockey, not the horse, right?
Yep. um, cool. And so I guess, also, just curious, like before getting to some of these AMA questions too that we have from everyone. Yeah, like what you're seeing right now, what kind of what GutterCat gang is also building and working on, but also just kind of what are the trends that you're seeing right now that you're excited about?
Yeah, definitely. Markets kind of move so fast. It's crazy. We were in a bear market for a week. It felt like the end of the world, and then everything picked up again. Um, it's funny, like just in the last week, what I'm noticing a lot of is the like DeFi being forced into gaming. And so you're seeing people who like bought into collectible projects and they're being forced to learn DeFi to learn how to play Wolfgang, sorry, game, or like DeFi Kingdoms, or I mean, there's a bunch of these projects where suddenly you have to learn, oh, do I like stake my things, or do I pull it out and sell it, or do I cash it in for something else? And that's
Yep.
sort of a hot ticket right now, obviously. But I think the general trend you're going to see is you've already seen it. A lot of projects launching tokens. Obviously, you guys are launching stake with tokens. I like the redemption for merch. I think that's really awesome because it's not quite free, but it's a perk for holding, right? And I think the more people can innovate and figure out how to drive value to holders just for
Yep.
holding, that's fantastic. So I think gaming's probably. I mean, I know everybody's been saying it, but it's probably coming up pretty fast. A lot of stuff that got announced back in like March and April, people were pretty excited about, but now it's actually starting to have like some gameplay stuff coming out. So
Yep.
Watcher is like a big one that I've been watching. I know Illuvium is a massive one. I think the coin got kind of out of control today, but it'll be really interesting to see like where these more developed play to earn games kind of land and how they work and if gas is a problem for them or not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's some really good insight. And like I think, two quick thoughts from my side on that. One is like what you were mentioning about, just redeeming for merch and things like that. We definitely believe that, you've bought into the community, you have an Axo or a GutterCat or whatever it is. And it's the team's responsibility to really, ship things and build value around those. So of course there's like a certain category of NFTs it's just art and it's like here's art and like that's all we're gonna do. But we really believe that this should open up new opportunities just for holding. So even whether it's staking and earning tokens, obviously you're going to earn tokens, you can use those, but we wanted to open up access to partnerships or other things that don't necessarily require gas right away, because we're definitely thinking about like the gas costs right now and how for the next few months we can really minimize the necessity to use gas and still get all of these benefits for staking or for just being part of the community. So really resonate with what you're saying there too.
Yeah, gas has all kinds of implications too, right? I mean, if somebody hears about NFTs and they put $1,000 in and they want to, see what it's about and join, I mean, even to buy an AXO off the floor, it's going to cost you $400, right? So it really cuts
Yeah.
into your stack of money immediately. So I think you'll see a lot of people exploring Cardano and Solana and some of these layer 2 chains on ETH too, just because they may not have as much money to play with.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're definitely exploring all the different options to make things as cheap as possible. Because, like you said, it's like super expensive just in gas to get in. But also, there's different trade-offs because of where you can get listed or where your project shows up and things like that. That like if you use some of these L2s or side chains, there's certain implications there. So we're definitely exploring it, but it's a major barrier. And our approach is like, hey, how can we, like, all you need is one Axo, and how can we make ship as many benefits and make it as beneficial to you as possible just for having one. And that's, if we can make you totally happy and stoked for owning one, and you get access to all this stuff, then we've succeeded here. So that's a little bit about how we're thinking about it too.
That's awesome. I got my one today. So
good.
Funny, for the last week, I really wanted to use Genie, because I know for like gutter cats, it's an 1155 ERC, so that so a lot of it isn't on Genie, because I think it's only like the main ERC compliant or whatever. So I really wanted to use it for Axos, but man, gas was always like 200 something. I was like, how many should I sweep? And and then I was like, well, I got to get one this morning quick before I go on. So I just picked up one, unfortunately. But
oh, awesome! Welcome. We're glad to have you here. Cool. Yeah. Anything, Minnie, that you want to jump in on? Also, just kind of would love to hear your thoughts too on just the space as a whole, where you think your thoughts are at with where we're at right now, or anything you want to chime in with there.
I guess I can talk a bit more about the token. So yeah, we're trying really to give value, but it's hard with the gas issue. So we might do something like just if you hold your tokens, so it will be a smart contract basically. You staking, it means sending your Axo to the smart contract, and it's locked, and you get a reward for leaving it there. And so we have an idea. We could give a reward based on how many tokens you have in the smart contract, but without removing them. So it would reward the people that have left the Axo in the contract the longest. So you wouldn't have to redeem your tokens and use it. It would just check how many tokens you have, and that way you could get a prize directly without spending gas to remove the token, then check it. It would check it by itself, and so you would get some prizes like that.
Yep, that's awesome.
A little complicated, but
yeah,
we'll give more info in a more structured way about that.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. Well, let's definitely it's been a big priority, and Otter's been working some magic on the smart contract side to also optimize things for gas for everyone. Cool. Maybe we can dive into a little bit of the AMA here, and then we can wrap up with some thoughts on where we're going from here. So any questions, again, if you have any for either MoneyPlaneIdol or for Axolitl's, please put them into the weekly AMA channel in the Axolitl's Discord, and we'll go through them here in order. So we just starting from last week, updated ETA for the Ax Aquarium. I think we mini adjust that a little bit, but we're gonna we'll have an update shortly, but it's not going to be this week. The art has taken significant time to develop all of the attributes. Minnie, do you have any other comments just on kind of the immensity of the task of converting all of these and all the attributes into 3D?
Yeah, it's a little bit complicated. It's in my head, it was fast drawing all the attributes. I mean, still took like a month or more, but you have multiple dimensions when you create something in 3D, not in 2D. So it takes significantly more time. And so when I gave my estimates about the time it would take to create all the assets in 3D, I didn't consider that you have a lot more to create, basically. So yeah.
Yep.
And we also have to take in mind all the requirements that you have to follow in 3D. You have to, we have issues also, not issues, but that's what we're working on. Actually fitting all the outfits on a character that's moving is a little complicated, but we're working on it. And what else? And also, yeah, we've had issues with the animations. So at first we wanted to actually have animations moving on the character, but that turned out to be way too complicated. So basically, if you have, for example, the DJ attribute, it had moving bars, but these are not really possible on a character. So it's a lot of testing, trial and error. So that's why it can take a lot of time. But after that, we'll have a perfect base to build on, and that's the easiest part.
Awesome. Yeah, it's I'm constantly amazed at how quickly, given the challenge of converting this into 3D, how quickly it's going. So we'll keep everyone updated here. I'm going to jump down just to bring in Gutter Cat Gang, MoneyPlaneIdol. Do you want to comment? There's a question here, also from Sid Flo, on what you think leads to the whole success of the Gutter ecosystem, and all of kind of the offshoots of it as well, the entire ecosystem. What do you think has really kind of made it a big success?
Oh, that's a good one. I think a big reason is timing. Honestly, it was an early project. It's so hard to get above the noise now. I mean, there could be just an amazing project and it struggles to get its name out there, and then obviously if it doesn't sell out, like it's not dead in the water, but it's an uphill battle, right? So timing was a big part of it. I will say the devs doxed themselves pretty early on, and they've been just extremely committed to the project and building it. We had a really early we had an IRL meetup pretty early on. I think that goes a long way. We all interact virtually, but I think once you actually meet people, in real life, like those bonds are instant. It's pretty crazy. These people you've been talking to online for the last, 5, 6, 8, 10 months, however long you've been talking to them, right? Like the instant you meet up with them in person, you're like, oh, you're that person. Yeah. And you're just like instantly friends, right? It's kind of a weird feeling, but community has been super strong. I know we've had a lot of fun, like building out our characters too. I know there's a lot of people sitting on a lot of different gutter species, and they kind of sat on the bench. You could only have one profile picture at a time, and so people started dragging them out and saying like, hey, you know what, we're building a comic, we're building a universe. I think having Gutter City and Sandbox started to help make it click for people too. And they're like, hey, if I want to be a part of this IP, I got to build a character in this IP's world, right? And so we've got people running 4 or 5 Twitter accounts for all the Gutter characters, and some of them are interacting with themselves to like make plot lines and stuff, and it's just been fun. So yeah,
That's
really
awesome.
active community, and again, the devs are super committed to the project. And they've been pretty receptive too to community feedback, or introducing partnerships and things like that. So
like you mentioned, there seems to be a ton of outreach to projects like ours or other ones where there's just an openness of the community that you wouldn't necessarily expect from that type of project, where you don't have to be talking to everyone in the space.
Yeah, and I think one challenge I think the Gutters had is early on, like the brand was sort of this counterculture thing, which I think some people interpreted as hey, we don't have to be nice to people. And I think that sort of backfired a little bit. But I think the point is we're open to everybody, and really like the projects. One piece of messaging that came out from one of the members on the project is, the whole point of the Gutter is like, hey, we all started, kind of at the bottom. We all started in the gutter, and look where we are now, right? So I think that's something that kind of resonated with me. I know it's resonated with a few people who are higher up in the group too. So that's been a fun one. You
keep an eye out for other you got other people's back who are in the gutter.
Yeah, definitely, right?
That's cool. Great. Next question here. Will items purchased to decorate Axoquariums be on-chain tokenized assets? Maybe, Minnie, do you want to comment on this one?
Yeah, I think each item will be an NFT in itself. And so you could have some kind of economy that could be built around it. But yeah, right now we're still thinking how to implement everything. I think it will be on a layer 1, not a layer 2, but that's maybe a question for Arthur next week. He's gonna be coding all that stuff, so that's probably a question for him. But yeah, they will be their own NFTs.
Yep, absolutely. And also just to mention, like, we'll have our own items, we'll have collaborative items, and so there may be different types of items that you pull into, but they'll all be their own NFTs. So definitely you'll have access to a lot of different things that you can bring into your X Aquarium. The next question is when Bubble Coin is listed and where. So we talked about this last week. We're not actively going to be making our own markets or anything like that around the Bubble token. It could be that this is a community spearheaded listing that happens on a DEX, but we're not going to be actively kind of making our own markets around that. We can discuss that more also when with Otter next week, but definitely we expect that to probably happen within the community. And any more integrations of entities with the Aquarium, any other plans to grow the community. So for the second part, definitely we're working every day here to grow the community through partnerships and through bringing things into the X Aquarium, shipping that, and then bringing items in. I would say we have a big focus on partnerships and really expanding our community in that way, and also just adding utility for people who are already in the community to grow it kind of organically from within the community. We have an awesome base of a community here that is super active.
You're glitching.
Oh, I guess I'm glitching here. So
yeah, we didn't hear, I think, the last 2 sentences, but
okay. Everything is amazing, and we have a great community. Is the point? But we're definitely we're actively growing it out through partnerships and through utility for the community. It's really great to see everyone in the chat. The best thing you can do is join in on the Discord, join our live art drawings and movie nights and everything else that happens in the Discord. And we will be definitely having some announcements in the next over the next week, also around partnerships. We've had a lot of partnership announcements, but we're going to be bringing those all together into an announcement of what exactly that means and what you can get as a community member for through these partnerships. So keep an eye out for that. Question here for MoneyPlane. As a big member of another big community, what keeps you coming back to explore Axolittles?
Yeah, for sure. I think the big thing for me, well, there was a time where I was trying to stay on top of every single NFT project, and I burned out really hard. And I really brought it down to like 2 or 3 communities. But the thing I quickly noticed, the problem with ape follow ape or gutter follow gutter or whatever is all of a sudden your Twitter algorithm is only the project that you're active in, right? So, I mean, I could tweet something out about the gutter and I maybe get 20, 25 likes, but if everybody who likes it is, wearing a dog or a cat or a pigeon or whatever, right? And so it hit me pretty quick, like, hey, I got to be a part of some other communities. I got to see what's going on. So Axos in particular, Crip, who's a member of your community, I have known him previously. He's a huge asset, so it's cool to see him as the CM for you guys. But I jumped in to Axos because of him and stuck around because you guys got a cool little community going on. And
Yep.
I've been trying to do more of that, just hanging out in other communities. And there's so many projects. It's funny, you can see one tweet like 3 months ago, and that's your perception of a project, right?
Right.
Until you actually get in there and you start talking to people within a community, you really don't know what's going on. So like Lazy Lions is a good example for me. Somebody had told me, hey, the devs stole art or something. That was my perception of them for months, right? And then I jumped into that community. That's one of the most positive communities I've ever been a part of. I don't own one, but like I'll just hang out there because they're cool people and they're positive, and that's just something that's nice to have around, right? So and that's true for Access too. You guys are super positive. It's very clear to me the team is building, and I think we just got to make a concerted effort to get outside our bubbles.
Yeah, I like that a lot, and definitely jumping into different Discords, even without owning one of their NFTs, is pretty fun to do, and just to see what the community vibe is there. I know, so that's great to hear about you jumping into other communities too, and just to experience like what within these different spaces is being done, like our things like a community member doing live drawing is awesome for our community, because we can all just hang out and watch some amazing art happen live. And it's a lot of these initiatives are community driven, and it's pretty amazing to see that from our side too.
Yeah, I love the live drawing. That's great.
Yeah. So thank you everyone from our community. Looks like Crip just joined here too, for everything that you do, and for spreading all of the positive messages around other communities too. It's really, I love also popping into other communities and seeing people from seeing Axos just show up there and chatting with them in those communities too. So that's been a lot of fun. So we'll see you all around the different spaces. Cool. Next question here. To continue with the topic, what will we use the bubble for? Can we get some secondary market for it? Maybe in the sense of Axoverse only, build a local Axodex or something for planning to build our own meta world. I think we kind of answered this. Maybe you can definitely refer to the article that we put out, but the token initially will be used for everything from purchasing or even just accessing collabs. So we're thinking of this as not something where you have to necessarily spend the token, but where just by earning it, we can check that you have it, and where you can access certain benefits. So we'll have more details on that, but from everything from purchasing items for the X Aquarium to gaining access to collaborative mints or art drops, to physical merch, or even just opening up like access to a bunch of these things, the token is going to have a ton of different uses. We are seeing all the trends that are happening across the NFT space right now, and we're an active team building things. So we're also actively thinking of different ways that we can build this into other use cases going forward. Hopefully I answered it. Another question from iBaker, given the community will build on top, bubble price will increase in secondary, will attract more users. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on the bubble price, but you will immediately start earning bubbles, and what we're going to be doing is creating as much utility as possible for them. Cod Sterling said, I don't have a question, just want to say I love the project and where you all are heading. Awesome. Thank you, Cod. Mr. Cod Sterling. Great to have you here and for that comment. And then MPI, you said COD rules. Great. We will definitely check out the Hypnos. Cool. Minnie just emphasized this is not a security. So just want to reiterate, this is definitely a token that will have use. We're going to be building out the use around it. And so this is something we're approaching as like, how can we add the most utility for this token? And also he commented to not expect value. Minnie, do you want to make any other comments about that?
Yeah, just I wanted to emphasize, I guess this word is hard, but yeah, don't expect any value out of the token. It's an in-game I can say it like that, an in-game currency of sorts. So yeah, if it starts getting in the security territory, we could have some trouble. So just consider it as an in-game currency.
Yep, exactly. Cool. I think that may be it on the questions. So I think maybe one last question. I like to end kind of on. If we don't have any other questions, you can add them in still in the last minute here. But I would love to hear from Minnie and also just from MoneyPlaneIdol what you're excited for next in the coming week or 2 or 3 here, or even further down the line in the space. I know we talked about it a little bit, but would love to hear your thoughts on what you're excited for in the NFT space in the next phase here.
So I guess you can go when you play. I still have to think about my answer.
Oh, did you want me to go or did you want to go?
Yeah. You can go. I have to think. It's a big question.
Yeah, I mean, I touched on gaming a little bit, right? And I think everybody kind of had that on their radar. They've been waiting for something that's a little more than like click and collect a token. I'm really curious to see what happens with like music and photography. Photography is a weird one because there's been some like huge projects, but they've really been driven by influencers to kind of get them above the noise. And so I know Justin Aversano of Twin Flames is looking at launching his own platform that's focused on photography. I know 3Lao launched a platform called Royal that's going to be focused on music. Those are just 2, use cases for NFTs that really have been kind of under the radar, with the exception of Twin Flames and Drift and his Where My Vans Go series. So really curious to see, what happens with that, and maybe some of one-on-one art, and, how do people get back into art collecting? It's always been there, but, obviously the 10K collectible projects have been running wild for months on end. So curious to see what the evolution of the space looks like. And I think those are 2 to watch.
Yeah, that's super interesting on just like definitely a lot of interesting things happening in photography, and how people are going to start pulling that in and just going more towards like limited art, focus on the actual art or on the photography, and with music as well, obviously. One thing I just want to comment on there is that related to Axos is that we're really focused on being able to pull things like that into the virtual space. So whether that's like hooking up your boombox in your Aquarium and listening to a music NFT, to like putting your photography on the wall, we definitely want to explore all of that. On the music side, of course, we need to think through the technicalities and how all of that would work, but we're definitely interested in bridging all of these different forms of NFTs and how we represent them in a space, whether it's ours or also, I'm looking forward to how those come together in the sandbox or other spaces as well. Minnie, how about yourself?
So I think, about the music and the photography, I'm interested to see how it goes. It feels like I've seen less and less actual art on my timeline. So it's a little bit sad, but yeah, I think right now the 10K collections are somewhat dying, and I'm happy our collection stood out and we succeeded in having a community that we can give back value to and build on top of. So yeah, I'm really interested in the metaverse and all that's going around, all the token I've seen recently. I think it's called Sand, the token for one of the metaverses. I don't remember the exact name, but I think it's a big word, metaverse and all of that, and it's maybe a little bit of a bubble for some projects. So I'm interested to see with all the funding how exactly they use it, because right now I think we're still very early, and all these projects are really minuscule. So I'm interested to see how we go forward with all the metaverse stuff and how we ourselves can integrate into this landscape.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Minnie. We do have one last question, which is about the axolotl tank. I know that I think we had some community members that are taking care of some axolotls. These are, of course, the axolotls are designed after the very rare axolotls in real life, which makes them even more rare. And there's a few that are being taken care of in tanks and a few still in the wild. Minnie, do you want to comment at all on taking care of any of these? I think we've outsourced that to the community members.
Yeah, so we've been talking a little bit with Mimo. She has, I think, already 2 axolotls in real life. And so at first the plan was to get the axolotls for myself, but it's a lot of work. It's much more complicated than I thought. You have to have really pristine water parameters and really cold water, and I can't give them that. So I've been talking a little bit with Mimo, one of our community members, and we're trying to get some axolotls for the community. So we can continue talking, Mimo, if you're listening about the tank. So yeah, we're definitely trying to get you some daily pictures of cute IRL axolotls.
Amazing. Cool. Well, we will, our IRL events are going to be live pictures from the tank. So that'll be good. And so we'll keep everyone updated on that. So with that, we will end for today. We will have more updates tomorrow. So definitely a lot of exciting things coming up here. And thank you, MoneyPlaneIdol, for joining. Thank you, Minnie, for the art updates. So many exciting things coming up with this community. Thank you all for being here, for being a really strong community. It really makes all the difference. So we will see you in the Discord. Stay tuned for updates. And thank you, MoneyPlaneIdol, for being here. We love reaching out to partners and building this larger partner network. So we're really excited for where that goes with you as well, and to have you as part of the community now.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry, last thought, buy a hardware wallet.
That is always a good thing to end on. Go buy a hardware wallet.